I've got a special treat for you guys. This is one of those interviews that comes up maybe once a year, if you're lucky, that you'll find someone that has experienced something like this. But folks, I'm going to tell you, this is a hair raiser. This is an incredible journey, and I can only encourage you to buckle up because you may just fall out of your seat. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got an epic show ahead, but just remember, if any of you have experiences you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. You can either email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com or head over to paranormalportal.net. Scroll down and find the button that says Interview Me, and that'll allow you to look at a calendar of possible times and dates and find a date that works for you. Love to hear your stories, so definitely get in touch with me. Without further ado, we're going to welcome Tommy Dougall from Florida to the show, who has an experience of being attacked by a Bigfoot. So, Tommy, welcome to the show, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you. It's nice to be here, Brent.
It's incredible to hear. You and I have talked a little bit before recording, and I'm here to tell you, just wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
But
well, this is not something that I wanted to carry, and it's nice being here, and it's nice now to have this group of friends in this community that we have for the very first time in history, that we're sharing all this information.
Yeah.
If you really think about it now, and it's really a powerful thing, and my learning has been exponential, but I was alone for a while. This happened in 2010.
Okay.
And I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know who to tell. Actually, the police I talked to about this, and they threatened me. And I was pissed about that because to research me a little bit, I donated them a drone. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting some threats. It wasn't from the whole, office, but it was just from one knucklehead.
Oh God.
But anyhow, yeah, he thought I was probably playing some games. I don't even think he knew who I was, but it made me upset. So,
sure.
So that's what you were kind of dealing with at that particular time. And, so I, back up a little bit. I left my job in Homeland Security for what I thought was going to be a short period of time. I just had a desk job in downtown Chicago, and I really liked it, and I was going to go back home to do that. My mom and dad retired and moved close to Daytona Beach, Florida. My dad was a race car driver, and I wanted to be close to him. And I went down and I enrolled in motorcycle school because I just wanted to be a moron and drink some beers, get tattooed, and ride my Harley up and down the beach until it ran out of gas, and that's exactly what I did. And one night I went to go meet the boys up at the local biker bar, which was like the beach bar, and it was pretty cool. And at that particular time, I couldn't drive. I was finishing up a DUI, actually, from Illinois. Even though that I had a really good job, they didn't really care and did everything they could to make my life difficult. But everything is done and over with. But that's why I was walking. And it really wasn't that late. I was hanging out with the boys for a little while and having a couple of beers. We didn't really have that many. We weren't intoxicated, and we're serious students. We're building motorcycles at this motorcycle school. So I left, and they all left. They went down A1A, and they headed down towards Daytona. And then I went to walk back home, which was a good about 3.5 miles away. Really wasn't anything serious. I was in pretty good shape from being in the military and still, carrying on.
Right.
So as I'm walking over this bridge here in Palm Coast, Florida, I see this ball of light. It's way off in the distance, about a couple of football fields out. Looked like a big giant soccer ball, and it was lit up, and I could smell what I thought were fireworks. I could smell sulfur, and I assumed there was lights flashing, So I'm thinking, oh, somebody's throwing a party out there, Sure. That's exciting, because like where I'm at, there's like multi-million-dollar homes all over the place, all over the beach, it's totally cool. And there's golf carts, and everybody has a good time, and everybody kind of is friends with everyone. And I thought, cool, maybe hit, one more place, walking home at the end of the night, maybe meet some girls or something, right? So I'm sitting there looking as I'm going over, I'm taking a look at this building, and it's just a beautiful night. And off out in the distance is this building, and it's still making these colors. And I'm thinking, I can't hear the music, but it's changing colors. Like there's a DJ in there, and I smell the sulfur, like maybe fireworks that went off, So I did a couple of whoops off the bridge, which isn't abnormal because it's, there's water under the bridge, and your voice carries, for a long way off. And I figured I'd get their attention.
Yep.
So I did it, and the door opened up, and it looked like a big barn door, and that you could drive a tractor through, which I thought was kind of unusual, but that the building was gigantic. And sure enough, you see the silhouette that shows up, and the silhouette looks just like a Bigfoot, like those little cutouts that you see like stuck everywhere.
Right.
Selling them in every store, That is a Bigfoot, that is a Bigfoot, that is a Bigfoot.
Sure.
But you're thinking that is not a Bigfoot. I am not looking for Bigfoot. Okay. That's a party. That's somebody's, like inflatable building or something,
Right.
That they're out there. Maybe they rented one, they put one out. And I'm thinking, when did they put that out there? Because, I definitely wouldn't notice that, it's this big treat. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, they must really be doing well to get a building permit to get that fast,
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. But, I don't know. As I was walking home and sort of, shit that I see this thing come out, and then there's like more of them come out, and they all look like they're kind of bumping into each other. And then they all start running at me like in a V formation. About 300 yards away, I see, kind of all this movement. And like you just see them go into which I call the jungle of Florida. I'm up on this bridge, and I can see like down diagonally.
Right.
And I'm looking at this formation coming at me, and it looks like, how the geese fly in a V. And I'm just seeing like all the vegetation just shifting. And all of a sudden, like it moves all the way down to the bottom of the bridge to where I was at. And they can't get up there because, I'm way up high, but I see like all these faces like underneath me. I see a face, and none of it was making sense. I knew they were people. Right. But I couldn't understand what was exactly happening, and I didn't have a flashlight. We didn't have phones then. It was 2010. Sure. I had cigarettes and a lighter on me, and that was it. You didn't want to be found.
Right.
So I seen this big thing, and I watched, a couple of them kind of go that way, and they were going towards the staircase, and I seen the one go up the staircase, and it ran all the way up the staircase and got up to the top. And what caught my attention is when it got up to the top, it leapt, and I seen an arm like that and two legs kick out. Whoa. And I was like, what the hell is that? And it was massive. And I'm thinking that dude is as big as Jack, and he's going to try and rob me, Yeah. And sure, I see him, and he dives down the end of the staircase, which is about another 60 or 70 feet down the sidewalk. You'll see it in my video. You pull that up. Mm-hmm. And he hides behind this, this block, and he's like waiting for me, And then I get off the guardrail, and I'm like thinking, because I'm from Chicago, I've been in quite a few, and I've had some people try and rob me too. Sure. And I'm thinking, here we go again, I got to start thinking, mm-hmm. And so I got to put some space between me and this guy, and I'm not going to pull a knife or a gun on me or something like that. So I want to make sure I got enough distance between him and I. And so I go over the railing here, and I get over the middle of the street, and I'm walking up, and I'm seeing him, and as I'm walking, he's coming diagonal. He's looking at me, and he's squatting down, and I'm looking at him as I'm walking. I'm waiting for him to run out so I can, maybe stick him or something, whatever I got to do. And I'm talking like mad to him at this point. I'm thinking, I know I see you, and I'm saying some pretty nasty stuff because I'm thinking that we're going to have a fight, and I'm trying to intimidate him. Right. So basically, he didn't move. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that worked. And maybe good. Now I don't have to fight, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, you're going to come and follow me. 2 men go in, 1 man come out, me and you. My street is 3 miles deep, and you go down there, that's it, So I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to follow me down there.
Right.
I'm walking. Nah, he ain't coming. Sure as shit, I hear boom. He falls into the palmettos and does a roll in there, and I'm like, what the hell? Well, at this point, I'm already got some space, and I'm thinking, he's not going to come. Well, now he's jumped from one side of the street to the other, and these are houses up here at first. Sure. And then there's nothing. Well, he followed me, and he closed in, and he's doing the Bigfoot peek, like around here, doing that.
Leaning over.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, that's not somebody that's trying to rob me. That is a Bigfoot. Like, I have a very clear, even though now it's dark, like, there's only so many times you can say, that's a tiger, it's a tiger. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's a Bigfoot still, so I'm thinking, I don't care what it is, I'm going to try and put some distance between him and I.
Sure.
So I'm walking, and from being airborne, my legs are messed up. My knees are messed up. I got shin splints from jumping out of airplanes and doing them runs. So my legs are now on fire, and I can't run. And I'm just trying to do the best I can. I almost fell a couple of times. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be in bad shape here if I keep trying to burn myself down, basically, And now I'm looking, and now he's on my side of the road, and he's closing in. And I'm thinking, oh, I know what it is now, and I'm in big trouble. And I've never felt like the little white rabbit before, or that little mouse that you see that your sick friends drop in that python, what in that tank. Sure. You ever wonder what they're thinking? Yeah, I know what they're thinking now. Because I was that one. Yeah, for sure. And I'm thinking that is a Bigfoot, and it kept getting closer and kept getting closer. And like I told you, I started hearing the rocks behind me, and I knew it was, I couldn't just keep ignoring it. It wasn't going to go away. Right. I had to turn around, and I was like getting ready to fight. And that's when I seen it plain as day. I mean, it was a Hulk, the monster, and Neanderthal face.
Oh my
and just these huge, just ginormous traps. That's why they say he got no neck, because he's trapped probably from climbing. I don't know.
Sure.
But he's just muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. Yeah. And, you're just seeing this human face. And for a split second, I look at him and you don't know what else to say. I'm looking at a man, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And because I'm not sure what I'm seeing still. I mean, I'm looking at a guy, and I'm waiting for him to say something to me. And he didn't say, yeah, he's going like this then. And I'm thinking, I'm in big trouble,
Yeah.
That is a Sasquatch, and so that's when I heard that voice. Like I told you, I heard that voice maybe once or a couple of times in my life. Last time I think I heard that voice was maybe when I was like 14 or 15 riding my bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
One of those that I heard, like, turn left. Well, my buddy went off and broke his leg, and I didn't, and I was riding my bike. And it's like, it's just as familiar to you as your mom, like, right away, boom, that grabs your attention out of a whole crowd of people. That voice. Right. For some reason, I heard this voice. It has the Bigfoot standing in front of me, and I'm praying, and I hear this voice, and the voice says to me, grab your lighter. Animals are afraid of fire. And when I did, and I went down like this, the first thing as I felt was one of his fingers in the middle of my back that was like razor sharp. Ooh. The second was across my pec, sliding in, and it felt like razor blades, both of them. And then I felt his hands close in around me. And at that point, I just reacted. Without even thinking, I just swung, and I connected, and I hit his nose, and it went off his nose and bounced into his eye. And when the punch stopped, the lighter just ignited, I'm like, it just happened, like it was on cruise control the whole, then I was watching, it was like, it just did it, bam. And then it blew off on the back of its feet. And, the real agile, like everyone says, it was back on its heels and did a couple of stutter steps and then turned like it was going to go catch a football and just took off running then through the, what I call the jungle into this clearing. And then I just seen it just pick up this tree like a couple of times, just yank it right out of the ground, and like all these roots were all hanging out of this thing. And it just picked it up, and it just went boom, 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 and it like broke it all off in pieces. And it just started throwing these pieces of tree like at me. Most of them were getting caught in all the trees, but there was still like plenty of bark and tree flying over my head. And like I said, when I was looking, like it was coming right over me, and the dirt was sprinkling down and was getting to my eyes. It was making my eyes water, and I couldn't see them, And I was scared, and I'd never been that afraid in my life. I was thinking, okay, I'm getting ready to be in a nasty fight. I'm going to teach these people a lesson. And now all of a sudden I'm thinking I'm going to get ripped apart. I'm going to get eaten. They're never going to find my body again. So, I knew if I got off that road, I was going to be in big trouble. And then on top of that, it wasn't just him there. I heard chatter all around me on both sides. So they were closing in. They have their own language. Sure. And they were like kind of, and the only way I could explain it, they were giddy. Like they were like, the only thing that I could think of was it was his job. Like I was the rabbit. He was supposed to flush me out.
Oh, sure.
And then run into a group of them. That's the only thing that I could imagine or think of. And I was like, do not leave this road. Like no matter what, don't leave the road, you know? So I was trying to walk down that center line and I was trying to just make it home. And he charged me another 3 times. I was going to say 3 or 4 times. Yeah. I don't know. He charged me over 2, definitely over 2, could have been 3, could have been 4. I don't know. It was more than enough. Once enough, you know, I mean, any of it was enough, you know? Yeah. And, I didn't want to be there. You know, I don't want to be here. I mean, I love you guys. Like I was telling earlier, you know, I'm really blessed that we have our groups now and, you know, we're all working together. You know, we got all these scientists, researchers and everybody, collaborators all together. We're sharing all this information. It's not from like the back pages anymore of like, oh, grandma over in the Appalachians was making whiskey and she's seen whatever. And oh, that's funny. You know, no, it's not funny. That stuff really happened. And now we have lightning fast, you know, reports of, okay, hey, this happened last night here. And, you know, and so we're getting, you know, a better community. And it took me, this happened in 2010. It took me a long time to even talk about it. But now, you know, I'm able to finding my people, you know, and I feel better about talking about it now. And I'm finding out more information about what happened, not only to me, but, you know, what's happening to other people out there too, because, you know, none of it really makes any sense.
So, you know, at what point did this become a fight for your life for you? Because at first you thought it was a guy going to try to rob you. Was it still a fight for your life then? Or
no?
Did it?
No, I was provoking him at that point. Okay. You know, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna, you know, I've been through this before. I'm gonna hit you, and this is it. You know, I'm like, I'm not gonna really go into detail. Sure. You know, but I am very skilled and I'm very experienced. Right. I've been doing the MMA thing since like I was 5. Okay. My dad had me in judo and boxing. From there, I did taekwondo, wrestling, aikido, taekwondo, got a black belt, jiu-jitsu, and now hapkido as well. Right. So, I mean, and then whatever the Army teaches you, you know, and everything in between that you hear, you know, your buddies are trying to put you in a headlock, you know, everywhere you go when you're 9 or 10 years old. We tried to, you know, learn everything we could, and I'm still doing it now. Yeah. You know, like I said, you got to find your people, and I choose physical fitness, and, you know, I just meet up with other martial artists, but it was a good thing, you know, that I still was working out, and I just reacted because I wouldn't be here. Right. Because that's the only thing that I could possibly think of is like, they're going to eat me, you know, that's it, you know, right. Like they're never going to find me again. Yeah. Nobody's ever going to happen.
That's crazy. And that's what I'm wondering. It's like, at what point do you realize this isn't just an encounter? This is the fight of your life. And maybe perhaps doing all that training really made you shift into muscle memory. It's like you'd done scenarios.
Yeah, it was muscle memory.
So you just react. You just react. And
it was so scary. Like there is not a man on the planet, let me tell you. And I am the only one right now that punched Bigfoot in the face. There's not a man on the planet that'll probably want to go and try and do that again. No. Because that dude is just nasty. You know, I mean, he's not somebody that you want to be even next to at all. No. Like not even.
I'm sorry.
Not even a little bit.
So when he went to grab you, he was grabbing you for your arm, but he kind of scratched your back and your chest?
Yeah, his fingers are like, you know, like way long, and on the end of them, you see now, you know, all the researchers are out there finding their claw marks, like the bears, you know, they do the same thing. And apparently, you know, his nails were on my body and they felt like razor blades. That's what really got my attention. I knew I was in big trouble, like right away. It was no joke. Like I wasn't imagining anything. This thing was ready to cut me apart, you know, right. And it would have been really easy. Yeah. And I was lucky.
And I think that's pretty amazing that you had the reaction to go, you know, for a shot, because what do they call them? Rock apes in Vietnam, the legend of the rock apes. One of the village legends over there is that if they grab you, they will never let you go, and they will drag you away, and you'll never be seen again. So your reaction was probably what saved your life, you know?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's incredible. So
yeah, my hair stood up on my arms for at least about an hour afterwards.
I can imagine. I think I don't know how you function with an encounter like that, but it's incredible, but it's also terrifying, you know? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people that think these are our forest brothers. There are, you know, this peaceful, and maybe there are, but there's also this other side of the coin where there's a horrible situation with this phenomena, and I don't know which is which or how to ascertain that, but that's scary stuff.
Well, we'll just put it one way. People are people, and that's the only way I can understand it. There's good people, there's bad people. You know, I have friends right now that are not too far away from me that are out there on trails daily and are meeting with Bigfoot, interacting daily. They invite me to come out all the time. They're going to be out there. The ladies out there are going to be out there in Ocala for the the big Bigfoot festival that we're going to have over there in February. So I'll introduce you. I know you're going to be there. But they see Bigfoot out there like daily, and I am not joking. And they've got tons of stuff going on. The one has a dog with her. The dog spots them, you know, and so those Bigfoots, they interact, you know, with the people out there, and they probably recognize who they are, you know, but then you hear what happens, you know, with stories like, from David Paulides, you know, and like, you know, and my encounter. And, you know, I've talked to some folks out here, that have run into this thing. This one guy, you call him, you know, a Florida boy, true and true. You know, he's, hunting, fishing, you know, every single day. And he had his prize rod and reel that, you know, it was like $2,000. He left this thing out, and with all of his tackle and everything, out on this bank because they were out there fishing and they ran into it. And when he turned around, it was picking up his rod and reel, and he just took off. And, I wanted him to talk to me a little bit more, but he's so afraid. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And I completely get it. He kept saying that face. And I was like, I've seen it, you know, and I can't stop shaking since I've seen it either. You know, and it's like it broke something in me, you know, like I'm just constantly just shaking, you know, and it's calmed down quite a bit, you know, but it's still, I've got this constant vibration going on. Kind of sucks. It helps to talk about it, you know. Now,
do you actively go out there and still looking for them?
No.
Okay.
I was on that bridge, and I'll say, you see over there, I'm a real good pointer, you know. You see Leo over there? Yep, that's where he is. You know, and so, you know, there's tigers in India too. You know, you don't want to go wearing stakes around your neck to go see where the tigers, you know, live in. And I don't think you should go be looking for Bigfoot either, to be honest with you.
No.
You know, it's not your house.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. Because I know there's a lot of people that are, and as you mentioned, and there's some great work being done, especially in Florida. You know, Marie Dumont is doing some good things, and I think Dave Shealy's doing some pretty good things. But I think there's a lot of really devoted people trying to crack open this mystery. So,
well, those particular folks, they live there now too. You know, so they're that is their environment. You know. And now the other folks that are going to go out there, I heard a lady the other day, she died from a tick. You know, she got Lyme disease or something silly like that because she didn't have on proper gear. You know, I was a soldier in the Army. I mean, we didn't go out there with any off. You know, she's out walking around. I mean, come on. You know, silly things like that. You know, people are going to get hurt. You know, it's not good.
Absolutely. So, what is the journey next for you? Having had this incredible experience.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I tend to forget. I got my book out here. 100% real Bigfoot attack survivor, polygraph tested, true story. From Thomas Dougall, available on Amazon. And Barnes and Noble.
Fantastic.
I don't really sell any books, but I put it out for my friends. so I could kind of keep track of the story, you know, and if anybody wants to do anything with it, you know, you can go and buy it, or, you know, you can see it for free on Kindle. You know, it's on Kindle as well. So, awesome. But if you want to purchase it, you want to own it, you know, that's up to you guys. Well, I don't really make any money on it, but I thought it was cool. I talked to some folks and they were like, you really need to write this down. And after I wrote it down, they're like, well, you should go and do this now. Oh, okay. Well, now I'm doing this and now I'm hanging out with you. So I'm having the opportunity now to turn the page and meet normal people. Sure. And that's helping, you know, to be honest with you, because when you tell somebody you fight a monster, the first thing they're going to think is you're on drugs, you know? Oh, right. And I'm not, you know, obviously, you know, and now I'm meeting these other weirdo people that are totally normal. And we just laugh. I was like, man, I have so many weird friends now. It's ridiculous, you know, like, but they're all super cool. Right. And I'm having a good time, you know, and just life is just mind blowing. And all the information is just, you know, is just crazy now. I'm learning so much. Sure. Learning so much. Yeah.
Now, when it grabbed you, did it actually cut your skin? You said it felt like razor blades. Did it actually?
No, it was right on there. Like, it was trying to be delicate, but like if you just put a razor blade on your skin and move it real slow, that's what it felt like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think that's, now I got to ask you, before this experience, were you a believer in Bigfoot or a non-believer, or were you just, whatever, I don't care?
Well, you know, Bigfoot's in Alaska, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. You know, not where I'm at. Okay. You know, I came here for motorcycles and the beach and fix a NASCAR, you know, and Bigfoot's in the Everglades or, right. You know, not in my backyard, you know, and now he is in my backyard. Right. And I'm afraid to walk around out there.
I think that's the hard part, though. That's the hard part is the paradigm shift when everything changes. And suddenly your world changed.
It changed everything. You know, I was top of the food chain. Yeah. You know, I was in the Army for a short amount of time. When I go out in the woods, you know, I'm not afraid. I know how to survive out there within reason. Yeah. You know, that was another thing that amazed me too. This thing's out walking around. It's basically completely naked. Yeah. You know, I mean, you could see it very clearly, you know, but it had long red hair, you know, but the chest was bare. You could see it. It was just totally shredded. You know, and you know, after you survive, you know, and you start to think, you know, about it every day, every minute, you know, because, right. You know, it's just crazy. You're wondering, you know, how it can survive out there, you know, and we can't. Right. You know? So,
yeah, exactly.
You know, now we need gear, we need heat, we need all this stuff. And here's this thing that's like basically balls out and he's walking around out there, you know, like, how does that happen? Yeah. You know?
Yep. Now, in your opinion, and I'm just talking about your own experience, did it look more human-like, or did it look more ape-like, or what would you say? You said Neanderthal, but that's kind of a mix, actually. So is that what you?
Yeah, no, he had a human nose.
Okay, hooded nose.
Very defined features. Yeah, very defined human features. Mm. You know, they were exaggerated. You know, the cheekbones were stretched out here. This brow was like out to here, you know. So the cheeks were out, the brow was out, you know, the jaw was just, you know, ginormous. I mean, he looked like the Hulk. You know, take the Hulk doll and put some long hair on it. Yeah. You know, and that's it, basically, you know. Distort the face a little bit more. Yeah. And that's him. Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary. When they talk about the troll under the bridge, you know, now that I've seen that face, you know, a lot of these stories, you know, that are out there, you know, that we laugh about now, you know, I'm thinking, you know, that there's some truth in that thing, because now I'm seeing it had pointed ears too. Oh, you know, it didn't have. Yeah, I seen it when I clocked it real clear. Yeah, the lighter went off. Wow. I seen its face. Yeah, the ears were more elfish. You know. Yeah,
that's really interesting. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Eyes were pitch black. There was no
sclera.
No. Yeah, it was just straight black. Like you couldn't see which way he was looking.
Oh God, that is such an incredible and horrifying experience. I mean, I really don't envy you, because I don't know how you continue after something like that without a lot of therapy or something. And I'm not one of those people that runs for help, but
right. Yeah, no, this is honestly my therapy, and
Yeah.
talking about it, and my girl at the time really kind of helped, because I told her, I met somebody there, shortly thereafter, and she didn't run away from me. And I took her to the spot, and she looked at me like I was nuts. I figured out she's going to dump me, and
Sure.
she didn't, and eventually she came around, and you keep telling the same story over and over again. I'm like, I want to be drug tested, I want to be hypnotized. Give me a lie detector. I'm up and game for all of those.
Good for you.
Really. I do want somebody to go ahead and do that, because we know it's real. I mean, we know it's real, so that's why I'm out here and I'm doing this,
Right.
More for my sanity, I suppose, than anything, because I don't have anything to prove. We already know in our community what a little bit of what's happening out there,
Sure.
We've got a lot of stories and we're sharing a lot of stuff, but we know we got it out there. That's for sure. The other people are out there, I don't even need to talk to them. So right. I don't even care. I'm doing this more for myself, my sanity. And I've discovered, a ton more of information and other stories that are like mine. They have called my buddy over here, Ronnie LeBlanc. He's got a really good book out. Met Ronnie. You're friends with Ronnie too. Ronnie's got some stories about some Indians that were that dropped off these crazy bears that came out of a moon. And when I talked to Ronnie was asking me about this story, and I was trying to put these pieces, and I was telling him about it. And he goes, "Did it look like a moon?" I didn't know that he was like quizzing me, and I was just trying to tell him. Later on, I found out I was thinking, "You shit, like you were investigating me." I didn't even know it, but he's a super cool dude anyhow. But I just learned that there's other stories out there that they had these moons. These people say they seen these moons drop, and if you've seen it maybe from a little bit further. But I seen like defined edges. It more looked like a soccer ball to me. Like stealth technology has got those panels. That are like square, like one there, one there. That's what it kind of looked like. The whole thing,
like
and then the door opened
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was just far out. Like it just wasn't a circle. It wasn't like a glowing ball.
Sure.
It was like a structure.
So you saw that structure, but we've kind of...
I didn't know what it was.
Okay, that's what my next question is. What was it to you, or did you ever...
I thought it was like somebody, there was sort of a party out there.
Yeah,
like an inflatable building, you can buy them on Amazon, and I smelled sulfur,
right?
And I was thinking, they just blew off fireworks.
Sure.
They're just shutting it down.
Right.
Hold the door, come on, I'm coming over, and there's got to be some hot chicks in there somewhere, this place is loaded with beautiful women, it's like a beach.
Yeah.
I mean, this place has got $1 million homes, it's just gorgeous. So I was thinking, they're going to invite me over, and I get a couple of whoops off the bridge, and apparently that's not a good thing to do. It calls in Bigfoot.
Apparently, yeah.
That I don't know what I told them in Bigfoot language, but it wasn't too good.
So what was it after the experience, or did you never get back to what was that ball? Or has that just remained a nebulous question mark in your mind?
Don't know what it was.
Okay.
I think it was a spaceship.
Okay. That's kind of what I was curious about, because, of course, there are plenty of people that seem to see a correlation between UFOs and activity of Sasquatch and Bigfoot, but, it's a tough thing to get to. The question is, do you think that they were riding in it? Or do you think they were dropping off the ones they were checking out? Like the aliens were done with those, so they were dropping them off.
I don't know. I think they all got back in there and took off.
Oh, it did. Okay. I got you. Wow. It's just...
Maybe they were trying to pick me up or something, like I get a mistake or something. I have no idea, There is, on the ground, like right now, there's a ton of... Tons of things you can eat, from everything from boar to deer. Bear goes through there, and it's loaded with berries. And there's a water source right there. maybe, I don't know, maybe, they're flying around and, they need to drop down there and that's where they chill for the night, for a little bit until they get restocked. I don't know, but I just happened to be there at that particular time, and, the rest is definitely history, and it's
Right.
hopefully never going to happen to me again. That's for sure.
Well, maybe not. I guess you never know, but,
I don't know.
After this actually happened and you're face to face with it, like when it was far away, you said it looked like Shaquille O'Neal, but when it was close up, how big do you think it was?
It was definitely like 10-footer for sure.
10 foot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was like, the width, the shoulder length, it had to be 4 to 4.5 feet wide. I mean, it was just massively
That's it.
and his head was like 3 of mine,
Yeah.
at least three or 4.
Wow.
And within width, so then its shoulders were out. His shoulders looked like football helmets.
Oh yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. They were just big and round, like you just stuck them there.
Right.
Yeah, like if you were just putting clay on it. If you took the Incredible Hulk and you bumped him up a little bit more,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good thing is the face was big though, because it gave you a real big target for that muscle memory.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
That was one shot in a million,
Sure.
and, I heard another story, of another gentleman in Ocala that was attacked.
Okay.
And that was in the 50s. And ultimately he drunk himself to death, and that weighed real heavy on me because I went and I did some research, to go find out what was going on. And I talked to some people out there in Ocala that were researchers and, had a bunch of stories and we exchanged stories and it was really cool. They wanted to meet me and I wanted to find out more, I had no one to talk to.
Right.
And they told me about that and it really weighed heavy on me. And I was like, that's just, the guy just had no one to go to and he just ate himself up. You could imagine that. And I was like, well, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm going to be a target for everybody else.
Good.
So, I'm strong enough. If they're going to go ahead and come at me, they're going to come at me anyhow. So go ahead and bring it. I'm not in it for the money. There's really no money to be made. You know what I mean? I don't make no money out of my book. We do all these things for fun, so we're out there talking, we're having some fun, and learning more. And that's all I'm really concerned about right now is just, being with my people.
Yeah.
And it's been nice. I've met, a lot of good people now in this whole experience. And every year it gets better. Every year I learn more,
Right.
and, maybe now I'm getting to the point, later in 2016, this was in 2010, in 2016, I broke my neck in a car accident.
Oh, good.
So I'm kind of just living life again. My neck now is all metal. I have a 6-disc fusion and 2 artificial. So that knocked me around and got me a little upset. So I'm a little aggravated right now. So yeah, I'm ready to go live life again. And I may, get a little bit closer, but I'm not going in deep. I'll tell you that. Like I'll go and I'll chill out from the parking lot and be like, okay, he's over there. I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the spot. All right. I'll cook some hot dogs for everybody or something, We'll talk about it, but I don't know if I want to go crawling in there and getting some chiggers and stuff.
Sure. So I got to ask you too, like in a lot of alien contact stories, it seems as though the people that have had contact in many cases get marked. Have you noticed any change in the events around your life since this, or that you might attribute to this encounter?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right. Yeah, I was just
nothing
curious
that I
about
want to talk about.
Okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. Right. But it does seem.
Nothing in correlation.
Okay. Yeah.
No missing time.
Okay.
Nothing like that. It was just me and him, and he followed me, and I punched him, and and then after that, it charged me a few more times, like I said, and the whole thing was just unbelievable. Like even when you punch it and you land, you land the punch there, and you feel it.
Did it feel like a brick?
Wow, this is real. Yeah, I mean it. I can hit pretty hard, and I've been in quite a few. I know how to throw a punch.
Sure.
And but that lighter went off, and like when that punch stopped, I gave him a hook, and bam. So he was close. So he was about from close to where you and I in the camera is, and I hit him. So while I was leaning in, we're talking about maybe 8 inches, nose to nose. He was right in front of me.
Oh my
That's
God.
how close we were.
Tommy.
When that thing went off, it singed its hair, and I smelled the smoke,
Sure.
from its hair right there.
Yeah.
It scared it.
Oh.
It scared it, thank God.
Yeah.
Because there was no stopping that thing. There was nothing I could have done. Like if it was going to come and try, and actually I wanted to jump in because that's the first thing you do if you're a fighter.
Yeah.
You stun him with the first one, and then when he goes down, you just keep going, until he can't go anymore, and then you go home,
Right.
and that's the end of it. Basically, that's not trying to get a trophy. You go home, and that's the story. Like you walk away, and I went in, just thinking, just not even thinking. I knocked him on his heels, and when he was going, I went to go get him again, and man, you just all of a sudden you stop yourself because you're just seeing this muscle creature, where the hell am I going to hit it? And you kind of snapped out of it for a minute, like it was a good thing that I didn't pop him again because if he would have stopped and turned around,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have. It was a good thing I got him on the run.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Good thing you were able to get the element of surprise there. And because I'm sure he probably wasn't thinking that, oh, you're going to attack him. I'm sure they're probably pretty arrogant about when they go after something. Everything just
it's probably very easy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is incredible stuff.
Maybe that's what they do is they just drop out of these things and just snatch people up too, and people just get so scared they just, either freeze or faint or, or they just take advantage of them because there's really nothing that you could do really.
Sure. No, I mean, honestly, through doing this show, I've maybe heard 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 stories of people who have been attacked by Bigfoot, and that's 4 or 5. And I've been at this for 7 years now.
4 or 5, too many.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the interesting thing because, again, getting back to what are they? Well, we don't know, but is it irresponsible or is it dangerous, do you think, to assume that these are gentle forest creatures? I mean, do you have an opinion on that? Because to me, it feels like, you can't go in with preconfigured notions about an unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to be smart, and especially, I'm you could say a survivalist. I'm not so much of a hunter. I am a soldier. Absolutely. I don't like to go out and hurt animals.
Sure.
I'll rather go to the store. You know what I'm saying? I'll go and get what I need from there.
Sure.
I have gone out, and done what I needed to do and brought back a nice buck, and that was cool. But, you got to respect nature, and nature's a nasty place, and they're designed to defend themselves against you and everything else. Yeah. So I love being a surfer too. But when you go out in the ocean, them sharks are probably going to bite you, whether, if you want to or not. And, whether you say, hey, no, that's okay. They're my friends. Well, I had a nice guy. He was my friend too. And he worked on the internet and, he only got bit just a little in his leg and he bled out and he died. And he loves sharks too, and, I mean, so that's basically the moral of the story right there. I mean, you're in nature, you're in danger. You need to respect it. And if you think you're going to be walking around and, those people are just special types of people. They're just not in touch with reality. We'll just put it that way.
Sure. And I think that's certainly a possibility. I mean, I don't pretend to know what they are, what they aren't, but I just think that you never go into any unknown situation with you that you've already got it all sorted out. It's like, because if you're wrong, you're dead wrong.
Right. Yeah. Well, I showed you this earlier when you and I were talking. This was my uncle's tiger. My first tattoo when I was 14 years old. And this is probably part of the reason why I survived. Because while he was charging me, like I said earlier to you, I was making all kinds of grunting noises back at him, to try and intimidate him from charging me. But even that tiger there, that tiger is designed to kill and eat things and take it down. Now that is a pet tiger, although, but still, it's a tiger. You know what I mean?
At
the end of the day, you can't go walk out in the woods and be like, I'm a tiger lover. Come here, baby, because they're going to eat you, you know?
Yes,
now, I have friends, now, for example, like we talked about earlier, that see Bigfoot every day, you know, but that's their backyard. Like literally, that is their backyard. That animal is familiar with her and her dogs and them walking on the trail, and they see them people every day. Now, if you went and walked in there and started being a little bit closer to that dude, you're going to get a little bit more kickback, just like you would for a bear or a mountain lion or a bobcat or anything else that you're going to try and back into our corner and try and give a hug to.
Yep.
You know, and these people are going to end up not being in a good position.
No.
You know?
No. Yeah, I agree.
Best thing is a sprained ankle, you know?
Yeah.
Best thing.
I tell you, you know, there is First Nations precedent for trading with them. And so, you know, kind of what the habituation stuff is. And that continues there. I mean, but it goes back that far that people have allegedly had relationships with them, which I think is incredibly profound and does denote intelligence. But, you know, I just don't know if they like us or if they tolerate us or if they don't like us, but they take advantage of what we do have to help them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know there's folks out there talking to them. They're gifting, you know, they're having all kinds of great interactions. But like I said, you know, we'll take it back to this tiger. You know, it's a 1 in a million type of Bigfoot then. So you're going to have an interaction with that, because most of the Bigfoots, in my opinion, will probably eat you.
Yes.
You know,
I think that's always a reality, unfortunately. But Tommy,
you don't even have to take your fur or your feathers off. Could you imagine how great we got to look to them?
Yeah.
Like, hey, that baby's already done.
We're already lunch meat. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a chicken walking through, you know?
Well, sir, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on the show and the courage to share your experience with us. I think what you've experienced is absolutely horrifying. And I thank God I don't have the experience myself, but I'm glad you were able to get through it okay, and then to utilize your platform to go ahead and teach people about this. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, brother.
My brother. Yes, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Now,
and anybody wants to jump over and meet me on Facebook, you know, they can go ahead and do that, or I'm on that new platform now too.
Rumble?
What is that? No, I don't. What is the one from China? I always forget.
I don't know. Oh,
TikTok. I'm on the TikTok. The TikToker,
TikTok.
I'm on the TikToker now, under Tommy Dougall. And you guys can find me there, and that's where I'm putting out all the Bigfoot stuff.
And that's where they can find links to your book to read it for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, very good, brother. And, it's been an absolute pleasure and a harrowing tale, but I had a great time, man.
Wicked cool, man. It's good to see you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us today. So hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thank you again so much for all your love and support. Remember, if you want to follow the Paranormal Portal, probably the easiest way is to head over to paranormalportal.net, and that's the homepage for the Paranormal Portal, and you'll find links to all of our different social media and sites and information about the shows, including our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Paranormal Portal, or just look for Paranormal Portal on Google or whatever search engine, and you'll find links to our social media such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So we're kind of all over the place, and we're spreading as well as we can. But anyway, thank you so much for the love and support. Y'all take care, and remember, we love y'all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Until next time.
Well, the only time she really turned with that famous was when I rode across the creek and got down off the horse. She turned to look at me.